Hey there! So you're getting ready for the MUET reading test. If you're looking to turn that challenge into a total win, you have come to the perfect place. Think of this explainer as your secret weapon, your game plan to absolutely ace that paper.
75 minutes. That's it. That's the entire time you get for the reading test. Kind of sounds intense, right? But don't worry. Our whole goal here is to give you a rock-solid plan so that every single one of those minutes works for you, not against you. So the big question is, are you ready to do this? Are you ready to master those minutes? Awesome. Let's dive in and build that strategy and confidence you need. Okay, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at your overall 75-minute game plan. Then we'll hunt for info in part 1. After that, we'll dive into parts 2 to 4, which is all about reading between the lines. Next up, part 5, where we uncover the text's structure. Then we'll master the details in parts 6 and 7. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with your winning mindset. It's a full roadmap designed to get you from start to finish. All right, let's kick things off with your game plan. First things first, right? You can't win if you don't know the rules of the game. So let's get a super clear picture of what this Muet reading paper is actually all about. So here's the layout. You've got 40 questions, and they're split into 7 different parts. Now, the interesting thing is how it's structured. It's not random. It starts out with some quick information finding, gets deeper with comprehension, then tests you on structure, and finishes with these longer, tougher texts. You see how it builds. Getting that flow is seriously the first big secret to doing well. Okay, let's jump right into part 1, the information hunt. This covers questions 1 to 4. Honestly, you should think of this part as your warm-up. It's designed to test one and only one very specific skill. And what is that skill? It's scanning. This is your absolute secret weapon for part 1. Seriously, forget about reading every single word. That's not the goal here. For these first 4 questions, you're a detective on a high-speed hunt. You're looking for specific clues, names, dates, places that are hidden in a bunch of short texts. So how do you do it effectively? It's a pretty simple 3-step process. First, you have to know exactly what you're looking for. Get that target locked in your mind. Second, don't read the whole thing. Just glance at the headings to find the right area, fast. And third, just let your eyes race across the lines. Here's a pro tip. Use your finger or a pen to guide your eyes. It sounds simple, but it really helps you stay focused and quick. The key takeaway, you are not reading, you are searching. Okay, warm-up's over. You totally crushed it. Now we're getting into the main event. This is parts 2, 3, and 4, what I call reading between the lines. This is where you have to go beyond just picking out facts and start really, truly understanding what the text is all about. Yeah, this is really the heart of the reading test. You're going to need a whole toolkit of skills here. We're talking about finding the main ideas, making inferences, which is just figuring out what the author means but doesn't say out loud, and a huge one, telling the difference between facts and opinions. This is where your brain really gets a workout. Let's zoom in on one of those for a second. Making an inference. This one sounds tricky, but it's not. Just think of yourself as a detective. The text gives you clues, facts, descriptions, the specific words the author chooses. And your job is to use those clues to figure something out that isn't spelled out for you. It's all about connecting the dots. Okay, but here's a classic problem you're going to run into. The test loves to mix up statements that can be proven with statements that are, well, just someone's personal belief. So how in the world do you tell a fact from an opinion? Well, here's the breakdown, and it's actually simpler than you think. A fact is something you can prove is true or false. There's evidence behind it. An opinion? That's just someone's belief or judgment. The one single question you need to ask yourself is, can I prove this? If you can, it's a fact. If you can't, it's an opinion. Simple as that. All right, moving on to part 5. This one is all about uncovering text structure. People sometimes call this the gapped text section, and I like to think of it as a logic puzzle. It's not just about what the words are saying, it's about how the whole text is put together. Your job is to find the one sentence that fits perfectly into the missing slot. To nail this section, you have to get inside the writer's head a little bit. You need to see the blueprint of the text. How do the ideas connect to each other? Is the writer showing a cause and then its effect? Or maybe comparing 2 different things? Once you spot that underlying pattern, finding the missing sentence becomes so much easier. And you know, one of a very common structure they love to use is cause and effect. It's a really simple idea. Event A happens, and because of that, event B happens. That's it. If you can learn to spot this relationship, you will have a huge advantage in part 5, for sure. But how do you spot them easily? Well, lucky for you, authors leave clues. And here's a little cheat sheet of those clues. When you see words like because, so, consequently, or as a result, a little alarm should go off in your head. These are signal words. They are practically screaming at you, hey, this is a cause and effect relationship. Okay, deep breath. We are in the home stretch now. This is it, part 6 and 7. These are the final questions, and they throw longer, more detailed passages at you. Think of this as the final lap of the race. It's all about endurance and focus. So, for these last questions, you're digging even deeper. It's not just about what the author is saying anymore, but how they're saying it. You need to figure out their attitude. Are they for something or against it? What's the real goal here? Are they just trying to inform you, or are they trying to convince you of something? So what's the secret to figuring all that out? Look for what we call emotive words. These are words that are packed with feeling. They're chosen specifically to make you feel something. Think of words like heartbreaking, revolutionary, or shocking. You're not going to find those in a dry, factual report, right? So when you see them, ding, 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 you know the writer's trying to persuade you. And finally, there's implication. This is the true art of reading between the lines. The writer suggests something without saying it directly. For example, if a sentence says, despite the economic downturn, the company's profits soared, what are they really telling you? They're implying that the company must be really, really well managed. They never said it, but the message is there. Okay, we have literally gone through every single part of the paper. We've talked about techniques, skills, cheat sheets, the whole shebang. But the last piece of the puzzle, the one that ties it all together, it isn't a technique at all. It's your mindset. Look, at the end of the day, winning at this test isn't about being the fastest reader in the room. Not at all. It's about being the smartest test taker. It's about walking into that exam hall with a clear plan, feeling confident, and knowing exactly which tool to pull out of your toolbox for each and every question. So, we've laid it all out for you. The game plan, the tools, the secrets. You now have the map to absolutely conquer this test. So the only question I have for you is, what's your strategy going to be? You've got this. Now go in there and show them what you can do.